you know, so like, you said you did like academy and stuff like that. Did that differ from doing like the Leeds United sort of stuff?
Yeah, the academy wasn't as well resourced, and this is not me, digging out Leeds. It was just that at the time analysis was new, so every club was the same. The academy wasn't as well resourced as the first team. So obviously the first team, and even still today, the first team is always the priority. The work that you did, it was similar from a kind of broader standpoint. So you would do you'd film the games, you'd then obviously clip the games, analyse the games, provide the players with the data, whether that be clips or stats or whatever. But then, like I said earlier, we touched upon it, it would be the pedagogy side, so how you would feed that back to the players. So obviously, in a first team environment, you might get players coming in asking for things. Again, it all depends on the philosophy of the club and the coach and how they want to do it. But just from my experience, the first team players would come in and ask for things. And then the only other time it would be in team presentations like this. So we would have a team analysis meeting. Whereas with the academy kids, it would be they would come in and they would treat it more like school. So they would come in, sit down on desks like this. It might be they have a laptop or an iPad each, and you go through some things. You might go through some things on the board, or it might be you sit with a few of them and the defenders come round and we look at something and it's always very basic as you would expect. It's not, overloading them with stats and data analysis. It would just be, what we used to do is we'd get them in and we'd go through and we'd sit the, defensive players round, then the attackers would go with one of the other analysts or coaching staff, and we'd just look, not at individual clips, they would get that if they wanted that, or if the coaches wanted them to see that, but we would just look at two areas of positive things that we did as a defensive unit together, and then two areas that we could improve. And then obviously to go away, you'd normally do the negative stuff first and then the positive stuff after. So to go away and they just have that little bit of feedback rather than overloading them and having, too much there. It would be very basic. But the way in which you deliver that to them, obviously the words, the language you're using is a lot different to the first team level, because as everyone knows, at that age, the younger ones, you're trying to develop them. Yeah, you want them to win, which again is important, but the first team is winning is everything. It's win or lose. We've got to get 3 points. We've got to get promoted, or we've got to win the league, or we've got to win the cup.